The following is the first piece I've ever posted on WordPress that got the honor of being freshly pressed. This was something I wrote the 11th hour when I was trying to make sure that I wrote a blog every Monday. I thought it might be garbage at the time. I didn't think anybody would relate to it, and it picked up a lot of steam. This has a lot to do with the phenomenon that I've encountered in retail, where you deal with a rude customer, and you deal with a lot of rude customers, but sometimes you deal with people who are so spectacularly rude and their presence is so obscene that they go from being an annoying part of your day to a blessing. They go into that realm of entertainment. I used to work as an Apple genius. There was a customer who would regularly come into the Genius bar that nobody wanted to work with. This character wore a suit, all in white. He had tanning cream on, and it was dripping. It was like he was made of wax. He had hair plugs, and the color of his hair can only be described as just for men, that kind of unnatural rust color. Now, what made him so special to me was that he had a pair of Bluetooth headphones, and they weren't small. They came out like tusks. When he handed me his phone so that I would diagnose this, the first thing that was on the screen was pornography. What I didn't realize at the time was it was self-shot pornography, and that's what he does for a living. I mean, he was so rude. The shit that was coming out of his mouth, the things that he wanted to talk about with the girls in the store, all stuff that I had to kind of navigate in the dialogue. But I was thankful for having met him because he gave me so many ideas. And this is kind of a warning to rude people out there in the world. There are writers everywhere, and we are always recording. So I'm going to read this piece. It's called Eavesdropping Advisory. A warning to rude people on behalf of writers everywhere. We're issuing an eavesdropping advisory. If you don't have an indoor voice, expect to end up in one of our stories. If your temperance drops and you put a shrill into the air, you're begging for a role in our next adventure. If you blow white noise conditions out your molar vortex, we owe it to future generations to make a record of it. If you're a severe weather friend, letting out an Arctic blast every time you vent, we'll be there to chronicle it. To those who suffer from line blindness, who steal spots because they feel entitled, who complain about having to wait when they couldn't be bothered to make an appointment. When you say you want to give management a piece of your mind, we're the ones who really take it. We welcome you, line cutters, you unsatisfied customers, you unexpected guest lecturers. When we need a character's bile to come from a real place, we eagerly await what spills from your face. It might be toxic, but we won't let it go to waste. We write what we know, and we learn from people like you. To the megalomaniacal moviegoers arguing with actors on screen, we'll make sure that your dialogue gets to the right place. To those who throw temper tantrums at tech support, we'll pay special attention to how you're wired, to where your screws are loose. We'll find your glitch. Check your terms and conditions. We reserve the right to do whatever we want with this information. Your call may be recorded for training, quality, and entertainment purposes. Your anger may find its way onto one of our pages. When you scream, "Am I just talking to myself?" we're all ears, writing your soliloquy into our screenplays. When you feel like you're shouting at a brick wall, we're on the other side building a monument in your likeness. If there's a big book tallying up all of your sins, who do you think is keeping score? Never piss off a writer. We're Santa's little helpers. We decide who's been naughty and who's been nice. We decide who gets shown in a positive light. If we see that you're always in the red, that's how you're going to be painted. If you ignore other people's perspectives, we're not going to see your good side. When you post statements in the form of questions, with Valley Girl upspeak, we'll be there to note the inflection. When you lob backhanded compliments at your friends, we'll be there to catch every last one of them. When you drop F-bombs on civilians from coffee shop couch cushions, gossiping about the other members of AA, we're the ones writing the flight manifest of your Enola Gay. You've crossed the line from annoying to entertaining. We went from shutting you out to tuning you in. It's not in our interest for you to calm down. We want to egg you on. It would take a boardroom full of comedians working several months to punch up lines of dialogue to your level of crazy. You're doing all the work, and we're grateful for your charity. If the potential for conflict is visible, we aspire to make it audible. Conflict is the heart of drama. Be a drama queen and you'll rule our scenes. Be a diva and we'll give you a place to sing. Every opera needs a prima donna. Every story needs an antagonist. Send your minestrone back 3 times in a row. Ask to speak with the chef. Hand out reprimands with your demands. Remind your server that she's working for tips. Read your nasty Yelp reviews out loud, just in case the staff doesn't think to search for it. Bravo. You're perfect. Drive your knees into the bus seat. Choke the life out of your cell phone. Shout into the receiver until you're sure your voice is distorting on the other end. Point a finger at a person who isn't there to see it. We're casting for the terror of Metro Transit, and guess what? You just got the part. We're the lurkers, the creeps, the ones with records to keep. We're the quote bookers. We face away because it makes it easier to hear what you say. We'll be the ones to accept the awards for your tell-off speech. It's your audacity that gives our voices authenticity. If you can't say something nice, then say it to our faces. You're an expert quip handler, and we're here to take your tongue lashings. Thank you, mistress. May I have another? We've been bad. You should give us a talking to. You're a control freak, so dominate us. Rake us over the coals. Break us down. Break our writer's block while you're at it. You are rife with material. Take it out on us. Scold us, berate us, take us to task.
Good. We can feel your anger. Strike us down with all your hatred, and your journey to the quotation mark side will be complete.
Now your cruelty belongs to the ages.